Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Hey there, Richard. This is Ben Barron with HTX Made. How are you this morning?
Good, and yourself?
Doing well. I'm here. Can you hear me all right?
Oh yeah, just fine.
Okay, good deal. Thanks for taking my call. I wanted to call you with respect to a couple questions. So first things first, we built a door that's on free swinging pivot hinges, and we're super happy with it. But the closer situation, I think maybe we spoke about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something. The closer situation is that it actually needs to be single acting and exterior mounted. And so my client sent me what they actually want. So the requirements here for a soft closer mechanism to apply to that exterior of the door on free swinging pivot hinges. They basically need it to be ADA compliant and single acting. So what they suggested was this 10 series from Norton Rixson. Are you familiar with the 10 series Checkmate stop and holder? Are you familiar with that hardware?
Okay, so it's Rixson, and it is a 10 series, and I am actually very familiar with overhead stops and holders.
Yep. So how does this work exactly? Is this mortised somewhere? Or no, this is all exterior mounted, right?
I don't have whether it's surface or mortised memorized on Rixson. I'm pulling it up. Bear with me one moment.
Sure. I mean, they don't. He referenced this, but like, it just needs to be like this. It doesn't have to be this one. But you can see that they're looking for something slick.
And this is for the three pair of radius top doors.
No, sir. This is for a different project. We'll get to that one in a second.
All right. Hang on one second. I am. Let's take a look. Yes. The 10 series is surface mounted, very inelegant. So, yeah, I mean, sure. So it's basically a slide track is what this is. The track, that's bolted to the door. The component between the mounting point and the header and that slide track is what prevents. It's like think of a table leg stay. It does the same function. It limits something ultimately. And it's the right piece of hardware to positively stop something. Door closer arms aren't that. Auxiliary stops, sure, but this is really the right hardware to positively stop something, meaning you are creating an environment by which the door going beyond the templated degree of opening does not occur short of a vandalism, a car driving into the door, things like that. Yeah,
right.
You could have a pair of doors, then you've got glass perpendicular to that opening. Yeah, you need to make sure that the door stops. That's what this hardware is for.
So I guess, this is just for a single acting door, and it makes sure that that door stays closed at the zero position, and that's all we need to do.
This does not do that.
This does not do that. Okay.
Oh, no.
What does this do? I'm a little confused then.
All it does is make the door stop at a prescribed degree of open.
I see. So it doesn't bring it to a close. It just makes it. Okay, gotcha. Is there something that kind of looks like this that will close the door at the zero?
The answer is yes. Kind of looks like the track because there are concealed door closers that feature a track, but this absolutely ties into our prior conversation about having a hydraulic or electromechanical hydraulic device somewhere that's actually closing the door, or a pneumatic device for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to make sure that you understand what we're trying to get to. We have a door that's on pivot hinges now, and it's double acting and free swinging, right? So we need an exterior mounted, slick looking, single acting soft close closer that we can mount to the outside of this assembly without mortising anything, you know. And all it does is it basically will bring the door to the zero position. If we need to install a stop on the back side of that door, you know, so where it won't go past the zero position, so be it. But this is where we're trying to get to. Can you make a recommendation?
The only thing that you can do is install a surface-mounted closer at a pivot point compatible with center-hung hardware, and you can do it.
Perfect.
And that's what it would be. I've seen LCN 4040s installed on center hung pivots, and there it is, big giant hydraulic body on the header, arm going to the face of the door.
There's nothing slicker.
Lots of things are slicker, but your operational description excludes mortising.
Yeah. I'm trying to avoid mortising. I'm trying to get a fast solution that, one, we can get it quickly, and two, we can put it in an hour, or two, and not need to do any surgery on the door or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a big door closer mounted on your assembly, is what it's going to be. Then you're going to need hardware. Well, then. I've just realized it may not be obvious. That door is no longer double acting; it's now single acting, and you're going to need a way to prevent the door from swinging into or on the side where the closer is mounted. You'll need an auxiliary stop there. So it basically becomes a single acting door at that point.
Mm-hmm. We're on the same page. What's the kind of slickest, lowest profile exterior mounted closer that we can find?
Well, everybody's got narrow stuff. Since you brought up Norton, they've got their 8300 series. It's the Falcon SC81. LCN's got a trimmer design, a 1460 maybe, or 1250. I forget the part numbers, but it's the same door closer concept that you're going to see when you walk into McDonald's. It's a surface-mounted door closer that has a cover on it that makes it look narrow.
Can we take a look at these and just make a decision? What should I look at?
You could very easily search for Norton 8301. And 8301. All of this is prefaced on doing a review of the door and frame to make sure that you have the real estate that the template requires.
Mm-hmm. I understand. I believe we have 6 or 8 inches up at the top of the door, and like on the actual leaf, and we have at least that much above as well.
Well, you might install this as a parallel arm. That may work. You'll need an auxiliary stop to prevent the in-swing, and plus, you could probably just forego the 10 series checkmate and get a stop arm installed on the door closer. But stop arms on door closers, while they do function in that way, they are not the same caliber of absolute stop that a overhead stop or holder would function as. You might be able to accommodate both of those requirements with the one device.
I mean, an integrated solution definitely sounds better to me, but you have to forgive my ignorance. I just don't know some of the terms that you're talking about.
Okay.
Can you? So I'm on the site right now. I'm looking at the 800 series for Norton Rixson. This looks like pretty standard stuff, but it looks pretty bulky. It's definitely going to work, but we would have to put a auxiliary mounted stop on the back side of it to prevent it from closing in, like you said, right? That's no problem at all. The question I have now is, of this 800 series, is there anything more slick than this?
Nope. There's
Okay.
not.
Gotcha.
You're always going to be about 14 inches overall length, 13 inches. That's the most petite style model. You'll get smaller footprint door closers, but the other issue that you have is how heavy is the door? What's the width of the door? Going with a physically small.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say width of the door is 35 inches, I believe, 36 inches.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Yeah. No problem.
And it's also not super heavy either. It's on pivot hinges anyway.
So what type of pivots is it installed
on? What is it, the 260 series, the offset pivot hinges? You sold it to us previously.
Oh, they're on offset pivots. Oh, okay. You're just adding a door closer to a door. Yeah, easy stuff.
Yeah, easy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, this is just a door closer.
Yeah, so I'm just asking for a door closer, and my question is, hey, what's the slickest one that we can get?
Yeah. The 8301 is going to be pretty slick and modern, petite. Doesn't look like the closer that you've seen for every year of your life as much. Going with something physically shorter, yeah, you can. There's the Norton 1600 or the Falcon SC61. I think you can order a cover with that. It'll make it look a little less dramatic.
How can I look these up? You're going kind of quickly for me. I'm on the Norton website. I can go to the 8000 series, but I'm not seeing 8301 right now.
Well, the 301 is a derivative of that. So
okay.
I'm also at nortonrixson.com. I'm clicking on documentation, and then I would be clicking on catalog and then viewing that.
Sorry, Norton Rixson. Okay, and then what? Solutions?
I think products.
Okay.
Let me do it with you. So Norton Rixson. Here we are. Norton Rixson. Okay. So when that site comes up, click drop down products and then go to mechanical closers.
Okay.
And then go to surface closers.
Okay.
Cam action would be nice. Just click. Well, hang on. Let's look. No, you don't want that. Then check the surface box. And then second row, third column is 8000 series. Click View. Then when that page loads, scroll down and we're looking for documentation. Horizontal navigation as you scroll down a couple of mouse wheels.
Documentation.
Then click Catalog and click View. Yikes. Control F.
It is 2800 ST cam action door closer. What's that?
That's what you see. It's got that track that I had mentioned earlier. I don't know if you can get the track installed for your application, but I don't think it's. I I mean, it's a bulkier body than the 8300. But yeah, cam action is super cool. Cam action is really great. So you'd want to get to like page.
Cam action?
So can you paint a mental picture of what a cam rod looks like in an engine? How it's lobed?
Lobed. I'm sorry. I'm looking at. No, I can't. I don't know what you're referring to.
Do you know what a pinion gear is?
Pinion gear. Let me look this up. Pinion gear. Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
So now imagine a spring, and when you compress a spring, not a torsion spring, just a straight spring, and you let that go, it's going to push your hands away. Well, the mechanics of the last inch, let's say, of the spring releasing that stored energy is really inefficient. When they incorporate a cam or a lobe when they incorporate a cam, which is lobe-shaped, in lieu of a pinion gear, the last 10 degree is still a forceful amount of stored energy pushing the door closed or pulling the door closed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have you've got a stack air pressure condition where there's all this air racing out of the door when it's just cracked open, which balanced doors work to solve. Balanced doors, you've seen them, but you without looking at one, you'd say, "Oh yeah, that is a cool door." They alleviate that stack pressure. The cam allows you to have a lot of good force still pulling the door closed when you've got environmental conditions that are fighting the closer, getting the door closed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get a cam action installed, by all means. But if you went to the 87th page, you'll see the 8300 series. And again, I'm only recommending it because it's the narrowest, because you can get that. And if you specifically go to the 92nd page or page 92, you'll see the 8301 versus the 8501. It's just a cover difference. And
8301, you were absolutely right. So here's a question. I've seen, here it says, okay, regular arm, top jam, and parallel arm. And these are different arms and also mounting orientations. What's the distinction here?
Well, door closers in general can be mounted three different ways, and they're referring to those three ways: regular arm, top jam, and parallel arm. The closer out of the box is going to permit you to install the hardware in any of those three ways. So the question is when you look at the installation instructions, there'll be 4 pages. One of them is overview. The other 3 are, each one of those other 3 pages are dedicated to each of the 3 general mounting types. So how to determine which you'll use, I would ask, will your door closer body be mounted to the door, or will it be mounted to the frame?
I mean, what's the distinction, really? I mean, like, why? I mean, if it could be mounted to either, right, is one better than the other? Yeah.
Possibly. So does the door swing in or out?
So in this case, it would need to swing towards the closer side.
Okay, is the closer side let's do this. What's the hand of the door?
The hand of the door. So the hardware to open the door would be on your right side, and you would pull the door open towards you. And that's the side. So the hinges are on the left, the handle's on the right, and I'm pulling the door towards me to open it. Okay.
When you're on the pull side of the door, is that the secured side of the door? Is there a key cylinder or something there?
There's not. No locking mechanism.
Okay. So is the pull side of the door an exterior environment?
Interior environment.
Okay. Does it matter to your client what side of the door the hardware is mounted on?
It does not. However, I would say that on the pull side of the door, that door is flush with the wall.
Okay.
Whereas
that was my next
not.
question. Is there an environmental problem of why you would install it? Yeah. If you put that body on the pull side on the door and you open it to 90 degrees, that door body's going to hit the perpendicular wall if it's too close. So that automatically eliminates one of the three, and that one's called regular arm.
I see.
That means the hardware is going to be mounted on the push side of the opening.
I see.
In that case, the next question is, do you want the hardware mounted on the frame or on the door? Your question was, is one better than the other? Yes, one is better than the other. Top Jam would be preferable because, certainly two reasons. The mechanics of the mechanical principles of how a door closer works when it's installed in a Top Jam allows a more efficient means by which the rack and pinion are compressing the spring. So for every 1 inch that you turn the arm, you will get 1 inch of spring compression in a Top Jam. When you are parallel arm mounting it, that relationship is no longer the case. For every 1 inch of rotation, you only compress the spring a half inch. So your efficiency of the spring actually helping you is now substantially reduced. And there's a way to compensate for that, but it's a bit inelegant. You have to just crank up the spring power. A Top Jam is going to close your door more efficiently. 2, it lifts the hardware up and out of the opening more. So now you don't have a door closer hanging into the opening. Technically, you have to have a clear opening height of X inches for ADA compliance, which you said you needed. And a 6/8 door, I'm sure your door is not 6/8, but a 6/8 door is technically not code compliant with you parallel arm mount a closer. So Top Jam is cool because it works better. If you ever walk into a Jersey Mike's, all their closers are always Top Jam mounted, and it's like, yeah, this door just closes. It works every time. And Top Jam is the best way to do it. It's the preferable way. But then the problem is you have to make sure that you have the adequate amount of face frame height to physically get the door closer body attached to, and you have to make sure that you have an adequate top rail to get the arm attached to. So if you were to go to page in the catalog, and by the way, because being exposed to hardware is clearly something that is all the time for you, of all the people who make door closer catalogs, the Norton catalog has always been for me the most academic, the most approachable when you're trying to learn closers. So Norton should be your first go-to.
If I just read this, if I just read 244 pages of this catalog, I'm good.
Well, no. You'll find that the majority of the 800 series is duplicated in the 7500 series, and because the mechanics of it are always the same. So if you read about surface closers, then you read about cam closers, and then you read about floor closers and overhead concealed, then you're pretty dangerous. So if you get to page 97, you're going to see a very elegant drawing of a Top Jam mount. And there's one thing on there that you have to be mindful at all times with Top Jam, and that's called the reveal. You have to make sure that your reveal is compatible. If you have too great a reveal, you may need a different arm.
What's it referring to? I see the word reveal here, but...
reveal refers...
okay, I see. I can see it now. It's the distance between the face of that door jam frame and how far it's going in. Okay, so how do we...
From the face of the header to the face of the door.
That makes sense. Face of the header to the face of the door. Okay, and so, yeah, I'm looking at my picture of the pull side of the door, and, I mean, it looks like there's a full, 4 inches, maybe a little bit more. Is that going to work or no? Where can I read this?
Yeah, it would with an 8300 because the body projection is only 2 1/8, and if you went to page 96, you'll see that. your door going to 90, you'd be able to install it. Now, the issue is you've got to make sure that you can provide a means to stop that door absolutely before it hits the wall.
One thing, just back up 1 second. I'm on 96 and I'm trying to read this chart. I'm looking at 8301 slimline plastic. Okay. Where do I see the distance, the reveal distance? Like how did you verify that?
No, if you're on 96, there is no reveal. 97 reveal only applies to Top Jam, which is 97.
Okay, gotcha. So on 97, 8300.
Lower right.
On the lower reveal information, I see. Okay. So these model numbers here, what is that? I mean, that's not referring to our, 8301. Reveal range, 0 to 2 3/4 or 2 7/8. So hold on, that doesn't appear to be enough, right? If my reveal is like 3.5 or 4 inches.
No bueno. You're going to have to go to the chart above.
I see. So what does that say? JB301?
So now the part number you need is, if you've got 3 3/8 or whatever, J8301. That will give you a longer forearm on your door closer. It'll just give you a longer piece of metal.
Gotcha. If I need, I'm going to have to go measure that precisely and figure that out. So this is page 97. Okay. Thank you so much for sitting with me, holding my hand, and walking me through this stuff, because I have to get this right. So I'm going to go get that reveal measurement. Is there any other measurement that I need to go grab? In order to select the right one?
Yeah. I mean, so absolutely go back to documentation and get the installation instructions. The cut sheet and the installation instructions, even people in my business, in my industry, we're guilty of not looking at the published documentation. Norton's been making these since the Civil War, and we're not using the manufacturer's. So you've got to look at that and just study it and just read it. So the answer is, you've got to make sure that you have enough real estate to install the hardware, because they're literally giving you all the data. They're telling you, here's your minimum. Here's what you have to have, So if you're going to Top Jam, what's the height of the face of the header? You have to know that. The V dimension, well, not V. It's really, V is important. You have to know on page 97, can you accommodate V? And then minimum top rail, minimum frame face. So you're going to need a minimum of 1 3/4 to get that closer body installed on the header. And if you don't have that,
So you're on page 97, and you're referencing the 8501M. It says 3 3/4.
So underneath the 2 line art drawings of the closer, the table immediately below, third column from the left.
Third column from the left. Yeah, M, minimum frame distance.
Minimum frame face.
Minimum frame face, yeah. I think it looks like we have 3 or 3.5 inches is what it looks like.
No. The table is telling you that your minimum frame face, which means the height of the header, has to be 1 3/4.
1 3/4. I thought you said 3 3/4. That's why I was like, oh. God.
I could have. I apologize.
Okay. No. We're good. Yeah, we definitely have 1 3/4. No problem.
You got to make sure you got that, and then you got to make sure you've got the adequate top rail dimension, and that would be the S dimension in the same table.
S. Okay. Yeah, we definitely have that. That's not a problem either. So, yeah, I mean, it's at least 5 inches here. Just eyeballing
Yeah,
it.
nothing disqualifying it yet.
Yeah. Okay. The real question is the reveal when the door is closed. What is that reveal distance? And then that determines. Okay, so I just need to verify that reveal distance, and then I'm golden. And then the separate question now is, what is my auxiliary stop that prevents the door from closing more than it's supposed to?
Yeah, you could so you could look at page 100. That will give you the option for an arm that will dead stop the closer. That could be your 2-in-1. If you go with a parallel arm mount, let's take a look at okay, so page 105 would be a top jam with a closer arm that's going to allow you to stop the door. So that's got a slide spring mechanism in it that will dead stop when you get to a certain point. And how that's achieved is when you go to install it and you refer to the installation instructions, and it will give you the dimensions that aren't shown on the drawing. There would be a dimension from the hinge to where the holes start. And the closer you get to the vertical axis of pivoting, the greater the degree of opening that the door can achieve. And the further away you move the closer, as you may know, you limit the degree of opening.
That makes sense.
So it'll say, for 90 degree, put it here, is what it'll say. Or for 110,
away from
put it here.
The center of the pivot hinge distance away from those holes.
In this case, the vertical axis of pivot, the imaginary center line of your pivots.
This is awesome. Okay, so this Top Jam Unitrol arm, that's an option to the 8300 series? Is that how this works?
I mean, you've got the 8000 series. Under that, you've got the closer bodies and the covers, and then you've got to select an arm. And when you put those variables together, you then arrive at, a proper part number. So this would be like an 8301 Uni, it might be called. Yeah, it's a Uni 8301. Actually, it depends.
You have hold open versus non-hold open. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can stop it and hold it open if you needed to.
Oh.
Well, it's more of a hold open, really. I mean, you're stopping it at the hold open point.
So it can stay open at the 90, is what this is saying.
Well, you can template the closer to hold the door open at the degree of opening that you want, assuming it's within the range of what can be done. 90, absolutely.
Yeah.
95, whatever you need.
Wow. And if someone touches the door and tries to close it, it's definitely going to shut. When they want. So you know what I mean? Like when you're opening a door, the default is that it's closing behind you, right? That's in general the condition that we always want, right? However, when we intentionally want that door to stay open, the instances where this has happened to me in real life, you open up that door and you kind of like intentionally set it at the open 90 position, and somehow it stays, right? And you can walk away and it's cool. And then when someone wants that door to close, they just, pull on it a little bit and it shuts behind you and you're good to go. I just don't want it to stay open unintentionally, Is that what this hold open thing is?
It's going to hold the door open until someone pulls it off the hold open point, allowing the closer the hydraulic and the spring to close the door. So if you've got people leaving it open, the closer isn't going to fix that problem.
Right. But I mean, it's not going to just like stick in the 90 open position like super easily. Like somebody has to open it all the way to 90.
It has to be intentional. Yeah, it has to be intentional.
Gotcha. All right. So now we're on the same page. I just wanted to understand, make sure that was clear. So that's what this hold open or non-hold open functionality is.
Yeah.
With the Uni. Okay, so it sounds like this is kind of what I need right here, and I just need to verify the reveal distance, but I don't see, there's no reveal thing on, there's no reveal distance mentioned on this chart here. I guess that's not relevant.
Yeah, was there a question there? My phone did blip for about 30 seconds.
It's okay. Yeah, so it says we've got the closer length, closer height, all this, but there's no number for the reveal distance. But I guess that's just not relevant to the Unitrol arm aspect? You
have to know it, and you have to specify it. The table in the lower left says specify frame reveal.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go get that reveal measurement and reference what we spoke about today so that you can pick the exact model number because I don't want to mess up. But
you've got it. It's going to be a Uni. It's going to be probably a J8301H. That's all it's going to be. And then we tell them what the reveal is. That's what I like about Norton.
This is incredible. So now, separate kind of question. This hardware, this is all like made for me, or they have it in stock? Does it take 6 weeks to buy it?
Yeah, that's going to be dependent on knowing the reveal. We'll then check stock to see if what you need is immediately available, and if it's not, then we look at other ways to solve this.
Okay. All right, I'm going to get after this one right away. I'm going to jump in the car and go get that reveal distance and get back with you, and we'll get this thing on order today. I really appreciate your help on this. Super informative, man. You are like the best in the business. I am not ever working with anyone else.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.